Let's look at the DalLayer tool now. We start with DAL Tools, EE Favorites, Layer, and we pop it up here. It's got four main tabs: Etch, Non-Etch, Artwork, and Views. We're going to focus today mainly on the Etch and Artwork tabs, which are more geared towards the engineer and technician. The Non-Etch allows you to enable or disable the display of any class of elements that you can find on the board without digging through the Allegro display menus and change the color displays. And the Views menu lets you set up multiple directories, like one per user, and multiple views per directory, so that different designers can look at the board the way they want to. They control the color of each layer and what combination of elements/layers is displayed in each view. An engineer or technician might have his or her own favorite way of looking at the board as well, and would save their views in their own directory. The Etch tab allows the user precise control over what layer/layers are displayed and what elements are displayed on each layer. It is really quite intuitive and self-explanatory. Layers are grouped into conductors and planes. Right now we have conductors enabled, and we can see there's from top to bottom, and there's layers missing in between. If I turn the planes on, we have this is a 24 layer board, and we can see from top layer 23, bottom. The single select column shows what colors are selected for each enabled layer and allows the user to enable the display of the layer one by one. So let's turn off the planes and just look at the conductors, and go from top to layer 2, and we can see the traces are magenta. Layer 4, they're this light blue or cyan. Layer 5 is this pale peach color. Layer 8 is yellow, and we can walk all the way down through all the layers. Layer 21, layer 23, and the bottom. The multi-select layer allows the user to select as many layers from each included group they want to display at once. So I can select top, or I can select bottom, or I can select layer 2, 3, 4, and 5 and see all the routing that's present on those layers. In this board, layer 4 and 5 are a set of pairs where we trade via layers, so that's an interesting set of layers to look at together. Layer 8 and 9 comprises the same kind of setup. 16 and 17 the same, and layer 21 and 20 are the same. Then we go to the bottom, and here we have all the etch on the bottom, so some power pores or ground pores, whatever that is. The toggle select column allows us to see certain features on the board. Right now, so we can see the etch via pin and DRC, and I can turn them all off, and I can turn them all back on. We can go through the constraint region, the route keep out area, the via keep out area, the package keep out area, and I can turn all those off and turn them one at a time, turn them back on. So we're going to get a package keep out area on those. And then down here we have the constraint region all, we have route keep out all, and we can come down and now we can start to look at the place bound for parts, and you can see the place bound turns on, click it again, turn it off. So it's a toggle select. You toggle it once, it's on, toggle it again, it's off. So let's look at the assembly outline, the assembly ref des. The assembly ref des is kind of noisy, so we turn that off. The silk outline, let's turn off the assembly outline. And then let's also look at the silk ref des. And we're on the bottom of the board, so let's flip the view and we'll see the ref des that we have highlighted. At our company, we don't use a lot of reference designators. We count on the assembly drawings and the PDFs. We zoom way out, and we could turn on the board outline. And we can see how just easy it is to turn on and off a feature. Down here on the bottom we have a standard button which has a couple views that a lot of people would like to use, and it turns on all the appropriate things to see the top silk screen. And let's go zoom in on an area and see what the silk screen looks like there, and let's reflip the board so it's back the way we like. And then let's go back to the bottom silk screen, and we'll want to flip the board to see the text mirrored. The other thing, we can go to the bottom assembly drawing and zoom in on this, and the bottom assembly shows where the parts are located on the board. The local allows us to save this as a view that we can save and restore. So what I'm going to say is save view, and we'll call it bottom assembly. There can be no spaces in the name. Okay, we save it, and then let's go restore the top with silk ref des, which was laying around from the other one from when we saved it before. So you can see we can flip between views very easily. I want to go back to the bottom assembly. Boom, there we go. And then let's go back to the top with silk ref des, and that's the whole top with silk ref des. Now these local ones get saved with the board. If you see, the local views are saved as an attachment to the current database, so they stay with the board file, so you can pass them from one the designer to another. The next tab we're going to explore in detail is the artwork tab. And the artwork tab is a combination of features for the designer and the engineer. And again, it's mostly self-explanatory. These over here are more for the designer. They do work to create the film records and remove them, retool them, and some options for when you're generating them. But for the design engineer, this tab is really, really powerful for design reviews. This is what we review. We can go through each artwork layer and just, I'm using the arrow key to go down. I can click on layer 5. I can walk through all the layers. 7. And we can see the artwork view generated for every layer. Now we also can go down to here and see the silk top and zoom in again. The silk bottom. So we're flipped. If we go back to the silk top, we can flip it back and see the solder mask top, the solder mask bottom, and then the paste mask on the top and bottom. Assembly 1 for the top layer, assembly 2 for the bottom layer, and then the fab sheets. So we can see the drill drawings and all this. So again, in a design review, we use this all the time and walk through all the notes on a fab drawing to see what we're going with. So once again, this is a conclusion of the DalLayer tool. Very intuitive, very easy to get around, and it's all in one compact place. Thank you very much for listening.